right?
To marry early. That's my entire point. Is our instinct. You have no statistics to go off of because it's only been like 10 years where this degeneracy of getting married when you're 30 started happening.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Omar, and today we are doing agree or strongly disagree, but it is things Arab will never admit to edition. I'm gonna give a bunch of statements that Arabs would usually either agree or disagree to, especially the diaspora. And your job is to either agree or disagree. And then,
based on my personal experience,
yes,
or what I think of Arabs in general?
No, this is based off your personal experience.
So it has nothing to do with Arabs, it has to do with me.
Well, the statement is about Arabs. We see if you relate to it or not. All right, we have 4 categories for today. We're going to start off with the first one, which is family and parents. The third one I left specifically in that order is about relationships. So we'll get to that when we get to that. This is your warning. Starting off with family and parents. First one I have on the list. My parents' approval still controls most of my decisions, even as an adult. So for Arabs,
it's only
Arabs
strongly agree
parents.
or strongly disagree.
There's no strongly. It's agree.
Agree or disagree.
Yeah.
You can't be neutral.
No. The first statement is, Arab parents' approval still controls most of people's decisions, even as an adult, or Arabs' decisions as an adult.
Agree.
Agree.
Okay.
Go ahead.
See, I feel like when it comes to this, Arabs don't make their own path, and a lot of Arabs can't have their own personality because they're just controlled by their parents. And that's a very Eastern thing. In the West, okay, it's the other way around, and maybe it's like too much sometimes, but at least they get to decide their own life. Because when you grow up and your parents die, you're the one that's stuck with your life. So it should never be a thing, but unfortunately, it is a thing where a lot of Arabs have to follow what their parents say when their parents actually don't know any better. Because life and time has changed.
You agree with everything you said?
I agree with everything you said, yeah.
Fantastic.
No, wait. I agree with everything you said. Did you say strongly disagree? Did you say disagree?
He agrees.
Disagree. Like with you.
Okay. Shukran. I think the only place that I disagree with Beeza is, at the end of the day, there's only one. At the end of the day, only your parents actually want the best for you. So
100%.
when it comes to things they don't
not
have knowledge about, for example, like if you want to be an influencer and they're telling, some things they don't know much about. But majority of things, whether it's like, oh, don't hang out with this friend, if you're, for example, 13 years old and they tell you stay away from these people, stay away from this friend, they usually mean it
that's
from
different.
a good place,
See, yeah,
and they
that's
know
different.
more than you in those.
What I'm saying is mostly career-wise and career decisions, because even if their intentions are good, and obviously they always want the best for you, but it doesn't mean that they're right or what they think is correct.
Yeah.
But when it comes to friends and relationships, that's something that obviously they have a lot more experience in, so they are able to sniff out the bad friends from the good friends. So you should listen to them when it comes to that. But I'm talking about career. That's something that's changed over time, and they didn't catch up. But when it comes to the basic things in life, obviously they have more experience than you, and you should listen to them. But again, they do try to control. Most Arab parents do try to control your life.
So it's interesting that you say that, because talking about control, you're saying as long as it's not career-wise, because careers have changed, other things they do know better than you, so sometimes they can help you out. Control comes from a good perspective, like comes from a good intention.
Obviously.
So then the next statement, cool. So then the next statement would be, Arab parents confuse control with love.
Agree.
What do you mean?
So Arab parents, they're confusing the idea of control with love. They're saying they love you, that's why they're doing all these things, but in reality it's control.
Bro.
They keep mixing love and control.
So neutral
Agree,
about this,
because
though.
agree. You know why? Because a lot of Arab parents, they do things, yes, obviously they love you, but the reason why they choose certain things for you is for how other people
will perceive them, not you.
Because for them, obviously, your kid is your project.
Status.
It's your project, it's your baby, imagine like a business. But
it's a straight reflection on who you are.
It's a straight
as a
reflection on
parent.
who you are, because you're the one that raised them. So a lot of the things come from of how they will look in front of others and their status more than so they're clouded by that judgment unintentionally more than actually
more
what's
than
best
their
for the
kindness, their the how big their heart is, how generous they are. They don't focus on that as much as they focus on, oh, what's your occupation? What do you do? How much money do you make? What's your title? That's more important to them than, oh no, my son is kind, my son is generous, my son is good-hearted. You know?
They focus more on status than actually what makes you happy.
This is why there's a lot of dick Arabs out there. Okay.
Okay, so
Cut.
in that case, do you think parents are fair when it comes to rewarding you or punishing you? So the following statement would be, Arab parents take credit for your success, but they never take blame for your trauma.
Disagree.
Agreed. Uh-oh. Now we've got the.
Okay.
You go first.
I'm actually curious. Please go first.
Okay.
Because I do, for context, I agree with you.
Yeah. So for example, if you grew up avoidant because of certain traumas you've had from your childhood, trauma to them is not real. It's not real. Their own trauma is real. Your trauma is not real. And let me tell you why. Because they're their own person. So they believe that their trauma has come from their childhood. However, when you say that you have trauma, then they automatically think that they are the ones who caused that trauma. And as a defense mechanism, I'm sure we've all heard this. Do you mean I'm not are you trying to say that I'm not a good mother? Or I didn't provide you with the childhood that you deserved?
Okay.
I did everything, blah, 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 right? Everyone has been through that conversation before. So, for you to say that you need to take blame for certain things that happened to me in my childhood, you're basically putting your own problems onto them. So, they don't agree with that. So, they don't, basically, your accomplishments, so for example, if you become a doctor or a lawyer, that's like, oh, look what my son did, which in turns feeds their ego. But if you made a mistake and it's on them, then that's going to cancel out that ego. They don't want that. So your mistakes are your problem. Your accomplishments is because they raised you correctly.
What do you think?
Which is why every single time, if somebody commits a crime, their mother comes in, what's the first thing they say? I didn't raise him like this. Or that's not my son.
Marabbeto hek, yeah.
Marabbeto hek, or that's not my son, that's not who he usually is, that's weird. You know what I mean? The first thing they do is detach themselves immediately from you. Like, this is weird. This is the first
That's
time.
an interesting perspective. I didn't look at it.
Think
Like
about it. That every time you get in trouble, you go to the principal's office, your mom comes in, no, I'm not a baito here.
What do you
Actually,
think?
technically, you know?
And you still stand on the disagree. So you think in your experience.
I agree now. What else say I disagree?
No, you can be honest. You can be honest about it. So you understand that maybe this is majority Arabs.
Yeah.
Maybe in your case a bit more.
In my case, no.
More of a blessing that you had a bit of an open-minded family or parents, that they were able to take responsibility if anything.
Mom, yeah.
Mom.
But no, I get that. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
So, in that case, since parents are always going to do that, and they're not really going to be by your side the minute you mess up, at some point it's common and it's probably natural for the child or for the son, for the daughter, to maybe start lying or changing things, rebelling, because they don't want to deal with it anymore, and that's most likely the common thing that people do. So would you say that most Arab children, daughters, sons, have lied to their parents so many times that they don't feel guilty anymore?
Oh yeah.
It's like second nature to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah? And would you say because of that, Arab parents have no idea who their actual child is?
Yes, I agree 100%.
I agree, yeah.
I strongly agree.
I agree.
That's very, very common.
So isn't that a problem?
It's a very good problem.
Look, I agree.
That's why I really up to that's one thing I appreciate about my mom ever since I was a kid. She understood that so well that she literally made it okay for me to tell her anything.
Yeah.
And or do anything I want to do, that even if it's wrong, she's like, if you want to do something wrong, do it in front of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that alone just makes you right away not
Want to do it.
not want to rebel.
Like a reverse psychology.
And at the end of the day, I was gonna do it regardless whether she liked it or not. If I was gonna do it, so if the parents befriend their kids and they know about it, it's a much better strategy than thinking that they're gonna actually change them and then them doing it 100% behind their back, no questions asked.
I agree with everything you said. I just disagree with the whole point of they don't know who their kids really are. Because I think what they know is the best version of their kids. It doesn't necessarily
So
mean
like
it's
a
lie.
facade.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's a lie. No. Because with every group of relationships you have, with every relationship you have in your life,
Yeah.
you are different in every relationship. The way I am with you guys, the Rawad you guys get is not the Rawad my girlfriend gets. It's not the Rawad that my other friends get. And it's not the Rawad that
That's
my parents get. And then it's not the Rawad that my family gets.
right.
Right? Each Rawad as a personality changes in each one of those settings. That doesn't necessarily mean that one of them is not true and one of them is not. Or one of them is true and one of them is not.
Well,
But it just
technically,
means
there is one of them
technically,
that's true.
Because it just means that more of me comes out in certain situations.
No, it just means how many masks are you willing to put on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Also, if more of you comes out, that means
Because in
there's
front
more
of
of you
your
that's
friends- in front of
not
your friends-
identified.
In front of your friends, you have zero mask, not
Yeah.
a single
You
mask.
should.
You're
have
naked.
Zero mask. If
Yeah.
you don't.
If you don't, then they're not your true friends, by the way. Then you should change your friends. If you're still wearing a mask in front of your friends, they're not your friends. They're not close enough. You should be naked in front of your friends. Let's call it that. Okay.
But I don't
and then
think
you
a
go out into
single
the
person-
world, and then you start adding veils.
But I don't think a
So-
single person, no matter how open your family is, I don't think a single person is fully unveiled in front of their parents. There's still the
of
level of
course,
respect.
100%.
100%.
There's still that level,
100%.
yeah. So I think that because
But
of their
still,
control,
how many-
that's not what causes that. I think it's just they're your parents. So ever since you were a kid, you've been
Right.
taught to treat them in a certain way, and that's how you're gonna treat them.
But also they have to make a decision on how many veils are they willing to, how many veils are you willing to cover? Right? Is it 1? Is it 2? Is it 10 layers? Is it 15 layers? And that all depends
You see
on
why I'm introverted now?
your parents.
Because it takes a lot of energy to put on veils. It
Oh.
takes a lot of energy to put on veils, bro. I know ain't nobody got time for that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that shit.
Let's put your veils all up for sale and get you naked.
You're not introverted, by the way, just so you know. You just love your comfort.
No, I'm not introverted. Okay, sorry. Let's not get into that right now.
Sure, but speaking of which, that does bring us into identity, basically.
All right,
as
let's
well,
get back into
well,
it
as we
then.
shifted it. Well, yeah, depending. So now we're going to jump into category number 2, which is identity and culture. And this one's an interesting one right off the bat, since we do have certain actions that depend on whether they're our friends, girlfriend, parents, whatever it might be. If we take it a step deeper and you go more towards yourself and you're aware of yourself, do you think most Arabs are only religious when it's convenient?
Yes.
What do you think?
Is there a skip button?
Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. So is that a neck?
Now you're mixing Arabs and religion, though. That's the thing.
Well, that's the thing. There's a thin line between religion and culture, and I think the fact that Arabs are religious when it's convenient starts turning religion into a cultural norm instead of religion. Religion is supposed to be followed from A to Z, no questions asked.
Right.
Once it gets adjusted between Arabs, it becomes a convenience and becomes a
You know
toy.
what's good? You're not actually
It
asking
doesn't
me for
become
my
a toy,
opinion,
it becomes
which
more
is
of a
good.
moral
Tool?
more than actually them doing things for God per se and worship, and it's more of like a moral book that everybody follows to a certain extent, and then once you pass that and you get into worship, that's when things start getting wrong with Arabs.
Interesting. What do you think about that?
So first of all, agree. But I think, man, what a topic, bro. Bro, I think it just stems from like so much push when you're younger. Then there's for every push there's a pull. You know what I mean? So I think it stems from that. But at the end of the day, yes, you're right. Everything you said is right. I really don't. I don't have much to comment on this because if I do, then we're gonna have to open a can of worms. But
Okay.
I do think it is that they do that when it's convenient. There's a lot of. I'm sure a lot of people that are watching your videos are Muslim or Arab, or have that type of knowledge in that area. So if have come across a lot of reels and a lot of people have talked about, oh, bacon, but like they go drinking and they go partying and they go hide up, but then bacon is right? And then for example, you have got
So
the
they
people.
pick and choose, basically.
Yeah, if you got the
And
people.
it's only small percentage, the ones that are follow it from A to Z, is a much smaller percentage, especially in the Arab world. If you go into Central Asia, you go into Pakistan, you go into Afghanistan, you go into a big part of them actually follow it from A to Z. Once you get into the Levant and the Middle East in general, like the Arab part of the Middle East, it's they start doing that. We start getting more like it's like more loose.
More loose, yeah.
Levant specifically.
And there's a lot of people that just are, bro, they're like borderline atheists. Borderline like atheists.
Well, yeah, because
that all of a sudden it's Ramadan, boom. بوم برو بتلاقي وش هيك وعم يسبح الحمد لله شكر الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I was walking around like, bro, you were just with like 3 different girls last week. It's just they flip for Ramadan and they flip off. And then they start trying to justify it in their head, like, oh, the Ramadan good deeds are mountains compared to the good deeds outside of. So now they're like calculating how much. Okay, one bad deed minus 1 plus 200 minus 3.
I think what they do is the month of Ramadan, if they're not connected to God throughout the whole year, the month of Ramadan is like their only chance to be connected to God. And if they don't do it in that month, in the holy month, then they feel completely disconnected.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a wire, it's like a cable. And it's like you want to keep one at least. And Ramadan is that one cable. And once you take that one out, it's done.
But that's not how it's supposed to be.
Obviously. It's not how it's supposed to be, but life is not perfect.
But
That's what I'm saying.
If you want to see in an ideal world, we can have a conversation about anything in an ideal world. But this is the situation with a lot of people who are living in that culture and their parents are Muslim and everybody around them is Muslim and they might not be super religious, but then comes Ramadan, then they want to like feel like they're still connected to their religion.
Mm-hmm. So do you think it's because of that, or do you think it's because of the mask?
No, it's because of that. Because if somebody doesn't want to fast, they will not fast. They can lie.
That's where we disagree.
They can pretend they're fasting and not fast. It's so easy to pretend you're fasting and not fasting.
And I think a lot of people do that. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying they.
That goes to another point. Is the Arabs really care about what others think?
Yeah. That's I think where the main thing in that Ramadan section comes from. I think that's what the main thing is.
I don't think so.
So
because you want to be fasting with everybody else. If I'm in a group and everybody in that group is fasting, and everyone in that group is hanging out till like 3-4 a.m. and they're doing suhoor together and they're haida, I'm gonna join in based off of that. Now I'm gonna try to convince myself that it's to be closer to God, but you cannot tell me that the second Eid hits, everything's gone. Then is it truly that you're trying to get closer to God, or is it for the culture?
Vibes.
Because if you drop it by 50%, no, seriously,
vibes.
it is for the vibes. Because if you drop it by 50%, okay, femna. If you drop it by 30% or 60%, femna. So you go from 0 to 100, from 100 to 0.
It's also like some people's intentions might be different. Maybe they're not. For example, they'll say they're atheists, okay, but they're born in a Muslim family. They might still do it. They can have a million reasons. You never know what's going on in someone's head. Not necessarily that they want to do it for other people. Maybe they want to take that month as a chance to cut, like to reset.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe as a chance to test out their self-control. Maybe it could be anything. There are so many things that can go on in someone's head. So we can't say they do it just because they want to look like they're fasting. But if you're saying a lot of people who are not religious at all and they fast on Ramadan and their fasting is not genuine, then yeah, that could be a thing.
So you mentioned right now that people want to look a certain way, because of Ramadan and stuff like that, which I think is true. I think so far everything has been said is valid. I don't lean towards a lot of the mask thing. I think it's more connected to the culture thing. Like you said, it's a plug. And at the end of the day, I think of it more of as a bill to pay. It's a utility bill. Ramadan is the only utility bill we can afford to pay. Once we pay that bill and the month is done, we paid it, we can, like, people go back to their norms, you know what I mean? So people choose what they can afford when it comes to religion. I think that's how I see it, and I think that's closer to your side than a mask for religion specifically. But speaking of appearance, Arabs can also be obsessed with appearance a lot, physically. But they will never admit how insecure they are.
Oh, yeah.
Agree.
Agree.
Ego is a big thing in there.
In the Middle
Looks,
East.
you know, how you look to others. You'd rather be in $100,000 worth of debt and fuck up your life massively just to look good in front of others. You literally live for others. You live for how your neighbors see you. You live for how your friends see you, how people you don't even know see you, and you would be okay with fucking up your life constantly over and over just to keep that image. That image is like top priority, which is something that is one of the worst traits of Arabs, I think.
It is, and you've touched a very interesting topic that's in social and ego, and it does relate to that a lot. But we'll get back to that at the end of the video. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You said that they would. Well, obviously, we're talking about some people. No one ever says majority, but we know a lot that do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because, and that's the next statement here, that Arabs judge other Arabs harder than they judge anyone else? And that's why people care so much about appearance?
I disagree.
I disagree. I think every Arab thinks that, but when it comes down to it, nobody gives a shit. Nobody's looking at the other person.
Everybody is more focused on
themselves.
than they are on the other person. So you walk into a room, you think everybody else is judging you, while everybody else walked into the same room and had the same thought. So everyone is focused on everybody judging them. So they're more focused on how they're acting and how they're perceived. And no one's actually sitting there judging everybody else.
Nobody's judging. No, everybody's literally so focused on themselves that they...
I'll give you an example.
Okay. I got excited.
You're about to meet up with a guy. You've never met him before. He's Arab.
Oh my God.
You
Okay.
end up... No.
Okay, sure.
You end up, you say, let's meet up at a coffee shop. You get to the coffee shop, you see him pull up. He pulls up in a Honda Civic. Opens the door, gets out, shakes your hand, looks you in the eye. He's a very nice man, he carries himself properly. What are you going to think about him?
Yeah, you never ever... Now,
Like,
not
I
even-
don't understand how the thought
Yeah.
could even cross your
Yeah.
head that because he came out of a Civic,
No,
because he came out of a Civic, he's
Yeah.
like...
right away he's like less
Lower than
civilized.
us. Yeah.
Or yeah, when have you ever walked into somebody's house, okay, or like a house in general, and it could be the worst house on the planet. They could be living in a shed. Have you ever walked in and thought that that you're better than them?
No.
Ever?
Bro, like
No,
even
it's
even
not a
the,
thing.
even the khabra or the dust and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like your mom has to dust everything, make sure everything's clean on top of the fridge. Like, bro, like go make your room upstairs. Like they're gonna go
when people
upstairs.
come
to
in,
my
they
room,
don't
you
see
know,
that.
like,
They never come in and they're like,
oh my god, ew, I'm leaving.
yeah.
Like what? No, bro, nobody cares.
We're all human, we're all flawed. And they're flawed, and you're flawed, and everybody's flawed. So nobody's sitting there thinking they're better than you, but everybody's focused on their own flaws instead.
But somehow people think that. But somehow everyone
And they
is
think
convinced that
everybody
everyone's
else
judging
will-
everyone.
Everybody else is judging you and on your flaws. When you're flawed and they're flawed, then nobody's thinking that you're flawed and they're flawed.
Which brings me to a very important point. Specifically about the car thing that I brought up. You already know cars are gonna get brought up when I'm in the show.
Yeah, as a metaphor.
But if you buy anything over like a Japanese vehicle or anything over like the regular A to B car, who are you getting it for? Are you really getting it for yourself? If you genuinely love the car, then tell me what's in the car. If you genuinely love the car, then give me the stats for the car. You can't even give me the stats for the car. You only care
It's
that
the
you're
stats.
carrying a BMW
Yeah.
key. That's all you care about.
Status.
Go up to 90% of Arabs. Look how many horsepower is in a BMW. I don't know, but it has leather seats and a sunroof.
All right, interesting.
And I'm not gonna lie. All three of us sitting here, including everybody else,
Yeah.
has some of that.
Of course.
Everyone has some
A
of that.
little bit is
Nobody
fine.
feels good coming out of the Civic, for example,
everyone
right?
feels good.
Nobody
Yeah,
feels
that's fine,
good.
of course.
100%. Unless
But yeah, Sorry, what were you saying?
I said everyone has ego. It's normal.
And bro, the happiest
But, like,
people on the planet are the
hippies.
people that have let
Yeah.
go of the ego.
Yeah, hippies. That's
Oh
what a hippie
my
is.
god, I noticed it, bro. You walk into like you walk into like refugee camps and you walk into their tents and there's like 6 tents in a little tiny 2 square foot
And they're
tent,
the happiest.
and they're so happy. And then you walk into a mansion and there's that little darling. I wanted a blue BMW, but he gave me a yellow one. Like main point of this entire thing is do not chase happiness because happiness is an emotion, it comes and goes. What you should be chasing is peace. Peace comes when you drop your materialistic bullshit. So drop it.
That was solid. Fantastic.
I'm
Love it.
thinking of becoming a monk.
Think on it for a little bit. Relationships and dating. Third category. There's a lot of amazing men out there who are also Arab who actually do their job. These are just specific things that I think I find a lot more common in Arabs when it comes down to certain toxic traits that men certainly hold. Or some. Now, starting off with the first one that I think we've seen even in shows, ironically, which is Arabs fall in love hard and fast.
Roman says to Arabs, if a girl doesn't want you, you keep chasing her. That's a felony here. You chase her, and you keep going after her, and you keep going basically harassment. And then that's romance to them. That's like the most romantic thing you could do. And then until you
That
get
is
her,
romantic, by the way.
until
To
you
a
get
certain
her,
point.
and you show up
To a
every
certain
day to
point,
her
sure.
work with flowers, and then you follow her home, and you beg her, and then the next day, and then you basically stalk her, and you harass her until you get her, and that's romance.
Do you have any restrictions?
And then you stop caring,
Huh?
and then they stop caring.
And then once they can get it, they stop caring.
I think that is sometimes true.
I don't think so. No, I
What's
think
the
they're.
second part of that question? God damn.
Yeah, Arabs fall in love hard and fast, but then they act like they don't care.
I think there's another one that's true. Not this one. This one is not true. Can I give you the statement?
Yeah.
Arabs, especially Arab men who are older now, okay, if they got married too early and they didn't have fun while they're kids or while they're young and they just kind of settled down too early, when they grow up, when they specifically hit 40, some weird switch happens in their brain and they just literally leave their family and go marry again. I've seen that happen so many times, and I've heard so many stories happen, even in my own family. I've heard that happen multiple times.
Interesting.
And I already know so many other people who are not related that have had the exact same experience. It's like men who did not have fun in their early life, and they did not actually, they just settled down too early. Let's say that. They settled down too early, they just flip. At 40, they flip. You know how, like, usually you have, what do you call it?
Menopause?
Middle-age crisis.
Oh, middle age
Yeah,
crisis.
middle-age crisis.
Why'd I go menopause?
Middle-age
I
crisis for
personally,
men
I'm not gonna lie.
is start over.
I'm not gonna lie.
Start over.
At the peak age of 45.
Obviously, not everybody. Clearly, obviously, we know that. But I feel like it's a lot more common with Arabs than other cultures have seen.
Now, does that happen? Sure. But I find that to be the most stupid thing on the face of the planet. I completely disagree with all that thought process. Like, I completely disagree with it.
What do you mean?
The whole...
You think it doesn't exist?
The whole... What did you say the word was? Oh, I hate that word.
Middle age crisis.
No. The one where you're like,
Stalking?
if they haven't done enough, they haven't what? Explored enough? or
If
whatever?
no, if they settle down too early.
If they set, that's the word that I hate so much. If you
they
settle
settle
down too early, that statement from the start, bullshit. In my personal opinion, I find that complete bullshit.
Well,
because
define too early.
once you put in your head, I don't care if you could be a teenager, I don't care. But I think it's better. The earlier, the better. Because I think
That's not true.
that this idea of experimenting and not settling down, and what's the opposite of
Not
settling down?
experiment.
What's the opposite of settling down?
Know who you are.
Exploring.
Know who you are. You're gonna change so much, especially when you're young. Every year you're a different person. You're gonna change so much.
You change together.
No, because you might change separate ways because people change differently. They don't change the same. Even
You
if
don't
you're
change
partners.
separate ways if you're partners. That's not
No,
true.
of course you do. Especially if you're young.
How much have you changed?
Especially if
how
you're
much have I
a
changed?
lot.
And how much has Omar changed?
A lot.
But since we're in the same circle and we love each other and we stay friends throughout the entire thing, we change in the same direction.
No, because
That's
there's
not-
less commitment.
that is
There's less
That's not true.
commitment
We just
there.
got
That's
lucky.
not true.
We didn't get lucky. Not
That's
all
less
5 of
commitment.
us
By the
got
way,
lucky.
if we
You-
did not start Habibi Squad and we didn't stay together, by now we would have all separated.
100%.
We would have all separated.
Yeah.
And we all would have went separate paths and we all would have changed differently.
I get that, but I think the idea is not what you're talking about. That's not what you're talking about. You're talking about changing and stuff. That's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about the idea of feeling like you've settled down too early. What the hell does that even mean? First of all,
It means you locked
you
in your
have
life too
you
early.
have you have 80 years from the time you're actually conscious and you're an actual human being. I think that's past like 12 years old.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You have to be like, but by
So
the time-
Haywan, say bless you.
So I think you're not an actual human being. It's fine. It's on camera. By the time you're an actual,
Bless you.
oh god.
Thank you. Sorry. Continue.
By the time you're an actual
Actual
human,
that wasn't even a sneeze.
not even that, because you're not an actual human being till you're like 12, 13. Okay, so you have
Okay.
about 80, maybe even less of years on
Let's say
average.
60. Okay.
Let's say
What's
60.
your point?
60 years.
Yeah.
Okay, you're either the type of person who believes in a soulmate and a partner for life, or you're not. Nothing will change that. If you don't think,
Look,
if
you
you don't
can
believe
like-
in soulmates and a partner for life, you can be 30. You could have done whatever you wanted till you were 30. You would have met them and you would have still resented the fact that you settled down too
You could
early.
meet someone early and you could get lucky and you could spend the rest of your lives together. I'm not saying that's not a possibility. Obviously, that's a possibility. But I'm saying in human nature, people change a lot.
And in human nature, you're supposed to be married in around teenagehood.
Who says that? Where'd you get that information?
Do you know how the human body works?
You will change a lot, and that's human nature.
You will change a lot.
Okay, right?
Okay.
She will change a lot. You can't compare to the past because in the past they also used to go and hunt for food.
How past are
Right.
you talking about? I'm talking about even recent past. What you're talking about is the last 10, 15 years. That's nothing. That's you have
Okay.
no statistics to go off of because it's only been like 10 years where this degeneracy
So I have
of
no-
getting married when you're 30
I have no statistics.
started happening.
I have no statistics that people change, so people don't change. People
No,
stay the same.
people change,
Okay.
but you have no statistics to show whether if you get married after you feel like you haven't settled down or before you feel like you have settled down. I feel like that's just
The divorce rate is 50%.
the divorce rate is 50%. Was it 50% 50 years ago?
I don't know, probably.
No.
Actually, the divorce rate is 50%.
And you know why it wasn't 50%?
The divorce rate right now is 50% because nobody knows what the fuck they want because they're under the impression of did I settle?
No, it's because
Do I want to do this?
It's because back then women didn't work. It wasn't common that they're independent, so they never got divorced. Even if they wanted to, they never got divorced because if they got divorced, they'd be on the street. So
Okay.
they were so dependent that they had to stay because they had no other choice, and that's the only reason why they stayed married and why the rate was lower.
Okay, but do you,
I do want to say that 50% is according to modern dating. Anything arranged still has a very low percent. What do you
Why?
think about that?
Why?
Well, most arranged marriages, let's say like the arranged marriages that
Because
come from the
most
Middle
arranged-
East,
because
that come
most
from
arranged
Arab.
marriages, it's the same thing. You find the woman, you take her from her family, she goes from her family to you.
yeah, by
all
the way,
she
did you know that they can go back to their family very easily? I've seen so many marriages.
But you
where
know how
that they're
taboo it
just
is
go
under
up
the
to their-
culture, especially traditional families.
Well, yeah, that's true. But what I'm trying to tell you is that that's not fixed by marrying when you're 30. That's not fixed. A lot of things go.
I'm not saying that. First of all, when it comes to this, everybody is different.
Everybody's different. That's
Everybody's
true.
different. It's what works for you.
That's true.
Okay? You would want to, maybe you want, when you're 40, you want your kid to be old and you want to be their friend.
But if you
So
want
you want
to
to get married early and you want to have a kid early. So when you're older,
yes.
your kid's closer to you in age and you can have them. Maybe no. Maybe you want the other positive. Maybe you want to have a kid later so you can figure out what you want to do in life. And you're okay with being 50, 60 and your kid is 30 or 20. Maybe no. You want it depends on what you want.
It depends on what you want.
Everything
But
has positives and negatives. Which positives and negatives are you
But I'm
willing
telling
to
you,
take?
it's our instinct
Right?
to marry early. That's what that's my entire point. Is our
It's our instinct.
No,
Not
it's
to marry.
no, it's not.
Definitely have to believe with that one. Just it was so heavy.
That's what
Came
I'm,
from
that's
passion.
what I'm trying to say.
came from
That's
passion.
so wrong. That's so wrong because if you hit puberty at an early age and then you push it, now you haven't done what you're biologically supposed to do for 10 years after you've hit your puberty. So you know how much sin you are subject to in those 10 years because it becomes
now we're
more
talking
and more
about
and more
scientifically.
Yeah. Okay. Can I say? Okay.
But it's not
Can I
about
say? Can I say?
I'm talking about divorce.
I don't think the divorce rate fixes if you marry at 30 or 40.
Okay, that's your final statement.
I think it does.
You think it does?
Of course.
Fantastic.
Because you know what you want more. And she knows what she wants more.
You have not you have not adapted yourself to actually be with a partner and compromise and become an actual partnership. You have no fucking experience at 30 plus having a partner and having this companionship.
And earlier
so
you
what
have
you
no
end up
experience of
doing,
life.
what you end up doing.
And earlier you have no experience of love. Did you
have no
want the same
experience
thing you wanted 10
Who
years
cares?
ago?
Experience life together, bro.
Well,
So,
that's,
and
And
a
yes,
that's
I
the
did
problem.
want
That's the
in terms of
shit.
relationships. Yes, I did want
Sorry,
the same thing 10 years ago.
in a perfect world, did you want to get married at 24, 25?
Perfect world.
Like,
I
do you
got
think
married
you are
at
late?
19, 20.
Okay, so you think you're behind
Absolutely.
on marriage and
Statistically,
everything?
no, but in
Not
terms of
statistically,
my
personally.
Own, personally, yes, of course.
Okay,
I wanted to
does
have a child by now.
does that stem from like an Arabic history of parents doing
No,
that,
it
or is that
stems
just a
from one of the
personal
things he
choice?
said. First of all,
Which is
I
settling
believe
down, or
exactly
what?
what I said. I have about 60 years, and I want to live that. Now that I've met somebody who I think, and I know it's gonna sound cringy, but now that I met somebody that I think is gonna be my partner for life, my biggest regret is not meeting them earlier.
But that's just because
But that's
there's luck
stupid.
in it.
No, because I
there's
want more.
fate, there's luck.
And also,
you'll
I
never
want
have
to
more
a kid.
though.
I want to have a kid when I can run and help him and
But
be
but
his
you
friend.
understand that you'll never have more. You can have someone for 186 years and then they'll pass, and you'll think they want more. 100%.
So I don't understand how you want to push it to 30.
We're not pushing it
have
to 30.
25 years with them and
Well,
then die.
we're not pushing it to
How
30
old is-
because we
what?
want to. We're pushing it to 30 just because we still don't know what we want. Like from this angle, there's just not enough experience for me to know who am I gonna settle with. So why would I hurry it
And
up
if you found
and
a
lock in
person
my
where you know
final
for
answer?
sure, like,
There's a
this is-
lot I want to say about
That's
that,
different.
but I feel like we should move on. But there's a lot I want to say about that.
Like, look, if you find the person around that time right now, our age, that's it. That's a good time to get married. I know what I'm talking about is early.
It's getting hot.
You understand that there's somebody.
Sweating.
Okay, the later I'm just
Oh my
saying,
God.
the later you wait,
Sweating.
the more you know what you want. Now, if you found your partner and you for sure know, like around that age, and you found her, perfect.
I don't think so. I disagree with what you're saying.
Okay.
If you go into an ice cream shop and for years, one day you go and you taste the vanilla ice cream, one day you go and you taste the strawberry, chocolate, midri shu, and then you have flavors that are up the ass. You have flavors, any flavor you want in the world, and you're sitting there trying all of them. You really think you're gonna find this one and be like, this is the one I want forever? No, بالعكس. My mentality works better for that sense, because if I walk in and I say I want vanilla, that's it, I grab it and I don't taste any of the other flavors, I'm content with that flavor. I'm good. But you, even though you like chocolate and now you want chocolate,
that's not human
then
nature.
you're like,
But that's not
but
human nature.
you know what?
That's
I
not
had
human nature.
strawberries and
That's
that's
not,
kind
regardless, that's not human nature. If you had vanilla,
It's a poisonous
after 15 years,
thought process.
you'd be like, I've never had chocolate. What does chocolate taste like?
brother.
You're not gonna be like content for the rest of your life. You're gonna be like, "Khalas, I only know vanilla. I'm good." No, you're still gonna question what chocolate tastes like.
No.
10,
but,
15
you're
years
gonna
later.
question it.
You
You're
know
gonna
why? 'Cause
question
you
it.
never fucking
Everyone's
tasted
gonna
it.
question it. Everyone's gonna question it. But the fact that it's like it's the same idea as you don't know what you have until you don't have it anymore. If I've never had
What
it,
do you think?
I
What
don't
do you
care. If I've never had it, I don't care to try it.
Great. I'm letting the room breathe. Relax. This is phenomenal.
If I've never
boys.
had it, if
I did my fucking job. My job was to get to here. Fucking.
you've never
By
had-
the way, I called that. I said relationships and dating is gonna fucking kill everything. Here we
if
are.
you've never had money,
My plot built up nicely.
if you never had money, you don't care to get it as much as if you did have it or you grew up with it. If you had a terrible car your entire life, if you had a Kia, your Kia مثلا, if you had that your entire life, you're good, you're content with it. But هلا go drive a Porsche for 5 years and then go back to your Kia and see what
So
happens.
you shouldn't strive for better.
No,
What's your point?
should you strive for better? But that's what I'm saying. Now you're comparing people.
Well, now we were talking about relationships. So how does that apply?
If you love somebody and they're your partner, and you actually truly love them, and I'm not just saying, hey, you're sexually attracted to them. You love them. You love who they are.
Of course, you're not going to go
and
with
you
anyone
like
else.
them. Then why the hell would you want to look at
That's
anybody
not the
else? Why would
point
you-
we're
That's not the
saying.
point, though.
We're saying
We're
we're not saying we fell in love with someone at 22 and decided to opt out because maybe there's better. That's just toxicity. We're saying we met someone at 22, we loved them, but we knew for a fact that there was a big important moral foundation missing. And you can't instantly build the tower on shaky foundation just for it to drop 20 years later
No,
and
you
go,
can-
damn, why did it drop?
You can find out
when
about
you
that
forgot
first.
something as
You can
important
find-
as raising children,
You can
wanting
find out
kids.
about that.
How
the
can you build
first
that?
month.
No, you can't. If you don't know enough about yourself, you can't. You need to know enough about yourself for you to be able to do that.
But,
You need to know
so that's the
yourself.
question: are you dating to marry or are you dating to date? That's where the actual question comes in. Because if you're dating to marry, you sit down, you do have these conversations. That's why arranged marriages when they were younger, because when they were younger, they wouldn't be able to do that. So the parents did that for themselves. They know who their kids their kids are. They know what good values are, and they pick somebody with good values for their kid. That's why arranged marriages worked back then. I'm not saying I'm pro arranged marriage. You guys both know I'm not pro arranged marriage, but I'm saying there's other ways around it, and I think the degeneracy of waiting till like 35 is not helping.
35.
Well, no one said 35.
No,
you're just,
it's
you're,
30,
you're
35.
taking 30s
No,
too
Allah,
literal.
look, if you want, look
We're
up,
just
look up
taking
the
a bit
statistic of
later.
when people marry.
We're not talking about white people. This is an Arabs episode.
At least
Arabs
until
still
your brain
marry
develops.
early.
At least till 25.
A lot of
At
girls
least-
wait till 30.
At least wait till your brain's developed. على القليل 25. Yeah. 25 is a good time.
I think 25 is a good time to have kids.
No, because 25 is when your brain develops.
Exactly. So when it's
That's
developed,
when you-
now you can take care of another human being.
No, you can't. Not in this day and age, buddy. You can't take care of another human being at 25 in this day and age.
There's other reasons why it's 30, by the way. I think if people actually had money,
Yeah.
and people were actually living in a proper economy, then yeah, people would have it earlier. But anyway, let's just make point. Let's go. Whatever you guys decide.
Oh yeah, this will stir up things. I think at the end of the day, you're looking at it from a lens of if you fall in love with someone, definitely commit, which I agree with. But as someone who played, I think, both fields equally, I've always dated to marry, and I fell in love into 3 different relationships, all relationships lasting 3 years. Have I had my own reasons why things have broken or maybe things are shaky? 100%. I do have flaws. But I'll tell you from now the honest truth. If there was a point in time where I thought that this is definitely going to work out, I would have committed 100%. The reason why things don't work out as good as you think they do, because there's more at stake and some things you can't control. Career choices and placement is none of your control. My recent relationship broke out of purely career and timing. If you, with your girlfriend, la samahullah, something happened, and you guys were very stern on your dream goals, dream projects, things might shake. But you, alhamdulillah, got lucky where you have the dynamic that's obvious. You will lead, she's ready to drop and follow you once you have built a stable foundation. You've got into that agreement through the relationship. Most people don't have these conversations though. Look at most parents who fell in love, had kids, who some of them are our parents, and then they broke up later because later they realized I don't even want to be here.
Well, but here's the
I
other
actually
thing.
wanted to take on my side project that I dropped for this.
Omar, people drop things. People drop their relationship for stupid reasons. And for example, I don't think any of you would have lasted in my relationship because my relationship has been going for more than a year now. More than a year now. Let's just leave it at that. And I have still seen her maybe a total of 12 times. 12 days I have been with her out of the entire year. And you could tell me right now that you are willing to fight that hard for a woman?
Yeah, fell through. Yeah.
She's the right one.
Okay, so what excuse do you have to drop a woman for geographical or career reasons?
She could drop
How?
you, Habibi. We're not
Yeah,
so
she could
bad.
drop.
Yeah.
Of course, she could drop too. I'm not saying she
Okay.
can't drop, but I'm saying
Because if she wants to keep her career
just
high,
because you think you might leave the country, for example, or you might find a career where you need to explore different things and do different things in that career, or maybe she doesn't agree with that career so much. There's a lot of different reasons. But what I'm saying is, if you had your mind straight and you both had the priorities straight and both your priorities aligned, then everything could be fought through. And I think that actually builds the relationship stronger if you fight through shit instead of just let it hide that. Because I can tell you right now, my relationship has been nothing but
100%.
easy. We literally live across the planet.
Okay, I have
No.
a question
I'm
for you.
still really
I have
No.
a question for you. If
No.
that same
You can't
situation
say it's easy.
happened-
Was it easy?
Listen. If you were
Your
20,
relationship is not easy.
If you were-
That's what I said. I said
It's not
it's nothing but easy.
okay, now the question
Oh,
is,
okay. That's not
if you were 20, would you have done the same thing if you met her when you were 20?
Yes.
No.
Brother,
No, you
No,
wouldn't.
bro.
I'm surprised because you know me.
You wouldn't.
Yes,
You
I
wouldn't.
would. Yes, I
You would have
would.
been too young. You would have had too many things happen in your life. Your life would have been still rocky and shaky and unstable. Okay, you still don't know what you want. You would have been immature. Okay, you wouldn't have lasted.
20 in this generation. 20 this generation is different. 20 this generation, you're still in university. You don't know what's going on. You're out and about.
Think
You're
of how many bad
20
decisions
back
you made
then.
when you were
20 back then. People have
Think of how
graduated
your
and
brain
worked.
used to work.
I can give you two examples out of our close friend group. We have a very close friend group. It's not like we know 50 people. I can give you two examples from our close friend group that have worked doing that exact same thing and even younger.
You can't give me exceptions. Fourth category, social and ego. This is very fitting, actually, for where we are right now. There are two things that I think Arabs are famous for. And I think these two things actually sometimes we do in the group. I think everyone has them sometimes. So I find them interesting. The first one is Arabs will constantly roast each other. They have thick skin for that. But they ironically cannot take any criticism at all.
I disagree. I think Arabs can take criticism and they have thick skin, but it's just who you take criticism from. I think Arabs don't like to take criticism from their parents, but can take criticism from their friends.
That is a really good point. That is a really, really good point.
Because their friends, obviously, they're their friends, and it's more relatable to them, and they would trust their criticism a lot more than their parents' criticism.
That is true. What do you think?
I agree with everything he said.
Yeah?
Straight up, yeah.
Okay. So, in that case, if you can, well, Arabs obviously they do, like you said, from friends and stuff like that. Well, then that just turns it into, by the way, a perspective. So it's not even cultural. So basically, you're saying there's nothing different that Arabs do than white folk, because I think, or Westernized, because I think this is more of a status level thing.
I think
In general, people
I
can
think
take.
the only difference is that we show affection differently. We show affection with being mean. We show affection with ihana.
That's what degrading
We
people,
love to degrade each other.
but that's roasting in a way. People take it.
I think it's because bullying is a thing in Arab culture.
Is a thing?
Is a thing.
Really?
Bullying is a thing, no? You don't agree with that?
I think
Like if
bullying
you're
is a
in
thing
school,
everywhere.
no.
But I just think the way
They've
we show
become,
affection,
no. Western culture has become
the way we
very,
show affection
very
is
snowflakey.
actually no, it's even
Not really. When I think of the word bullying, I always think West more than Middle East by a lot. And I think it comes from the fact that we are naturally a minority, so people like to lift each other up ASAP. Like the minute you're born, instantly your parents and your friends don't let someone come attack you. Don't let someone see that you're weak. Don't let someone take advantage of you. It's instantly a lift up. Forget middle school and elementary school. I think most Arabs, the beauty about Arabs is actually the minute you have a conscious brain, they back you up. Every Arab backs you up.
Yeah.
In front center stage.
Yeah, your parents would say if somebody hit you in school, your parents would be like, next morning go punch them.
Literally.
Like I remember, like my mom once I had a fight with this guy, and my mom every day she dropped me off to school. She said, "So did you punch him?" And then every day she's like, "Go punch him," and I didn't punch him. But every day she's like, she would ask me the same question: "Did you punch him?" Fucking pussy.
Good.
It's good. Do you think it's more common for Arabs to not go to therapy because admitting you need help feels like weakness, and or they don't believe in it?
Absolutely. Most Arabs don't believe in therapy to begin with. They don't believe in... a lot of Arabs don't even believe in freaking medication, bro.
It's wrong.
They don't think of anything mental, anything non-physical.
It's like, if you have a problem physically...
You can see it. You have a broken hand. Go get some medication.
You can take a pill. Or sometimes you can't see it. Sometimes you have diabetes and then you have to take medication for diabetes. So, but then when you have a problem in your brain, you can't take a medication for it. It's weird. Now, Why do they think that? Is because first of all, the West has really like taken this in a weird way. Like now they just give it to anybody and everybody, so that already turns you off
That's true.
of the whole idea.
That's true.
Right? That's one. And two is just we go back to the idea of what other people think and shame. The reason why they don't take it because culturally they think it's shameful to take something for a drink because now you consider crazy, even though it could be just a dysfunction, like just like you have anything else. If psoriasis or you have a problem, you have to take a medication for it. It's the exact same thing.
You know, it's funny how everything wraps full circle because most of the time you have something up here, it's because of your past.
Yeah.
So it's the same parents that usually cause the problems that come and tell you that it doesn't exist.
That's very true.
I've seen a lot of people that went through that, and it's terrible, bro.
But it's because they had to convince themselves of such sorts, and they were told the same thing. So, you know, the cycle repeats itself. So, on that note, the last thing I did want to mention is, first of all, obviously with all this discussion, Arabs and all of our opinions on this table still remain the fucking best. Every culture is going to think they are the best, and we love being Arab more than anything. And I think over the last 3-4 years, that love has just grown so much because more people have seen us. Even though a lot of the lenses were bad lenses and people eating shit in a lot of countries, they saw us. They saw the situation, they saw us, people love the culture now, people love us, and there's more unity. So I love that. And that's why we have these videos. It's not to show anything bad about Arabs, but it's to show how we can keep growing and keep evolving. Because on this pace, I think we're great. The way we're moving now, when you talk to the new generation of Arabs, us growing up, and now we're going to be the new parents, I am very excited and proud of who our children are going to be. Because we have taken the good and we've left some of the bad, and we're going to give the kids everything. And they will even become better and better. And it hopefully works well. Or brats. If they're brats, back to Jordan you go, and you're gonna see what it's like to get on the butt.
Isn't it what every generation of parents think?
No, actually.
Dwell on that for a second.
Yeah, but think of
I don't
it
think
this
so.
way
Have you had parents who said that? Who think what? They have...
Yeah, no. I mean, let's be honest. The way me, you, and him were raised was very not super mega traditional.
Yeah, it's more open.
Right?
Yeah. That's all we're saying. We're not saying Arab.
In general,
like,
yeah, sure. Like in the people that are our age,
But not
a lot of them do have very chill parents.
It's not about chill though. The next generation can have a lot more support, is my point. My point is, there's more parents who are going to grow up who are going to be more like, for example, my mom, and me and my mom are best friends. And I like that. And that's what I want to carry over to my kids. And same thing with Beeza and his mom. So having more, like imagine that's the norm now.
Yeah, I hope my kids are best friends.
Exactly, that's the point. And this becomes more common. It changes
So you're
everything.
okay with that? You're okay with them not being best friends with you?
My son, I think my daughter. There's always okay. Look, I do think no. There has to be, bro. There has to be one parent that is.
You can have both.
That it goes back to fear and love.
You can have both. You can have both.
It's very hard to have
It's
both.
very hard to have.
And you have to be really good.
Have to be good. I believe that.
I think I can, but we'll see. That's not obviously. It's not what once the kids start rebelling. Now you're at now you're in new grounds. now you realize that your thought process was fucked, and now you have to like adapt, and it's the way you adapt. But you're thinking that you want your kid to be your best friend, and then they get to 13, and then he decides, oh, I'm gonna go do this, and you're like, well, excuse me.
But you know it's a phase. What? Trying to remember a saying?
I'm just trying to remember the first one. I know the second.
Okay.
Idealize, then demonize, then humanize.
Humanize?
Idealize,
demonize,
humanize.
Okay, what does that mean?
These are the three steps
of childhood.
With your dad.
Oh, okay.
First you idealize him, and then
You demonize him, and then you humanize him. That is very true.
It's very true. Sometimes
To the
the last
T.
two are mixed, but yeah, very true.
They come and go as they please. No, that is very, very true.
Then so first it's like you praise him, he's like basically a god to you when you're a child, and then at some point everybody goes through the phase where you rebel and you demonize them, and then at some point you get to a phase where you realize that they're human beings and they make mistakes and you humanize.
You want to see demon?
And it's their first time living as well. A lot of people forget that. I saw that. I think we saw that one time. It's like something where it said, just remember your parents are also living for the first time ever with you. Like it's not like they repeated this life 1,000 times and you blame them on things. And
Hey, listen, if you have a mom and dad and they're still in your life, go kiss them.
that's so true.
Go kiss them.
That is very, very
There's a
true.
lot of people that don't have moms and dads, man. So go kiss them.
That is very true.
Why you gotta laugh? Like
I
now
don't
they're
know
gonna
why
think
is
I
that-
don't have mom,
Yeah,
mom
like-
and dad. Like, why'd you have to? That was a regular fucking things to say.
Why'd you laugh?
I don't know. It's just
A coping mechanism, which is so funny. I had a statement that I scrolled over, which basically said, "Do you think Arabs deal with comedy as a coping mechanism?"
yeah.
100% true. But anyways, that's for another time. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Beeza. Thank you, Rawad, for taking time out of your day. It was a great discussion, guys. Honest to God, way better than I expected.
Don't get married.
Shut up. The heated moments were phenomenal. I'm sure there's a lot of comments who are gonna talk about it. And till next time, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be here back with Hussam and Haz.
I was
Bye.
gonna say, please.